Key point review. The police power of the state is its authority to create regulations to protect the public health, safety, and welfare. State enabling acts allow the power to enact laws authorized by the state's police power to be passed down to municipalities and other local governing authorities. Public land use is controlled and regulated through public restrictions, planning, zoning, building codes, subdivision plans, and direct ownership of land by federal, state, and local governments. A master plan created by a local government usually covers land use, movement of people and goods, community facilities and utilities, energy and natural resource conservation, and noise abatement. Zoning ordinances are local laws implementing the land uses designated in the comprehensive plan, and typically cover items such as permitted uses, lot sizes, types of structures, building heights, setbacks, style and appearance of structures, density, and protection of natural resources. Such regulations must be exercised in a reasonable manner, clear and specific, non-discriminatory, and applicable to all property in a similar manner. Zoning classifies property by uses and types, such as commercial, industrial, residential, agricultural, and extraterritorial jurisdictions. Zoning is enforced through the use of permits, and an individual case may be considered by a zoning hearing board, which may decide to allow a non-conforming use to continue, grant a variance from a zoning ordinance to permit a prohibited land use to avoid undue hardship, grant a conditional use permit, or superimpose additional zoning requirements through the use of overlay districts, such as historic preservation zoning or aesthetic zoning. Spot zoning is usually illegal and must be discontinued once discovered. Brokers have a duty to disclose zoning, which is a material fact. Building codes require permits for new construction and remodeling of or additions to existing construction. A certificate of occupancy is issued upon satisfactory completion of work for which the building permit was issued. Subdivision and land development ordinances may be created by the state or made part of a local government's comprehensive plan. These ordinances usually include the following: subdividers, who buy undeveloped acreage and divide it into smaller lots for sale to individuals or developers. Developers, who improve the land, construct homes or other buildings, and sell them. Plat map, which shows geographic boundaries of separate land parcels, usually by showing blocks of land divided into individual lots. Subdivision plan, which describes subdivision features and compliance with zoning and other laws, including utility easements and density zoning. Private land use controls, such as restrictive covenants, which are placed in deeds to all property owners in a subdivision, and cannot impose an illegal covenant or condition and may be enforced by injunction against property owner in violation of covenant or restriction. If in conflict with local zoning, then more restrictive controls prevail. The Federal Interstate Land Sales Full Disclosure Act regulates the interstate sale of unimproved lots in subdivisions of 25 or more lots of less than 20 acres each. The law does not apply to subdivisions sold solely to developers. Brokers are responsible for disclosing whether streets are public or privately maintained. Any restrictions about highway accessibility should also be disclosed. The broker should disclose if the property is in a FEMA flood hazard area or if there are any known environmental concerns. Buyers should determine a property's sewage disposal system and should be encouraged to obtain a soil suitability test for unimproved land. Owners must obtain a permit to install an on-site septic system. The permit is valid for a specified period and may limit location of system and/or uses that might overload the system. Brokers should obtain a septic permit to verify capacity of a septic system and/or any system restrictions. The permit is available through county health departments. The permit will describe the capacity of the system by indicating the permissible number of bedrooms. The maximum occupancy is 2 persons per bedroom. Brokers are subject to disciplinary action for any misrepresentation of occupancy limits for property served by an on-site septic system. Straight piping as a waste disposal system is illegal, and its presence a material fact. Wetlands are a land area where groundwater is at or near the surface of the ground. Wetlands are very susceptible to flooding and subject to many federal, state, and local controls.